Welcome everyone to another Moralis video. In this video, I'm going to show you the new Moralis net worth API, and we're going to use it in order to spice up our little portfolio app to build something like this, where we can now in one API call display the net worth of a portfolio. We can display it as a total for all of the chains we want to query or for particular chains like this. And this API, as many or all of our other APIs, supports not only these chains, but all of the chains listed here. In this example app that we're going to build today together, I've selected these 5 chains to use, but the API supports all chains that Moralis supports. You can query the net worth for all of them in one single API call. And the response will look something like this. Here I've queried for 2 chains only, but what you get back is total net worth for all the chains that you queried, and then individual net worth numbers for the specific chains. And you can input all of the chains that we support. You'll get all of them back in a single call, and it's super quick. Let me show you. You execute this, bam, you have the net worth. So it's a super cool API that you can use to build things for your wallet app, for your portfolio app, or whatever other Web3 app that you might have going on where you need the net worth of your user. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I built this portfolio app utilizing both our token API, but also the new net worth endpoint. So make sure that you're strapped in, ready to go. You'll find all the links that I'll use in this video in the description below, including the repository for getting started, the final repository for the final code, and also links to sign up for a free Moralis account, and also the docs for the actual endpoint, which actually wasn't available when I recorded this video, so I am not able to show you the docs, but when you're watching this video, the docs will be available, and they are in the description below. So let's get started with coding. Let's get into the video. And we're going to start in the terminal by cloning the repository that I've set up as a starting point for this tutorial. And that is a basic portfolio app, similar to what I built in the previous one API called portfolio video. And this repository is a bit of an extension of that. It contains some more components like a chain selector, and it also contains some images for the chains. It contains some basic things that I've added that I didn't want to go through here coding on the video because it would take up a lot of maybe unnecessary time. And I've linked that in the description below. And it's this repository here, YouTube Net Worth Demo. And make sure that you're cloning the branch that is tutorial boilerplate. This is the default branch for now, but make sure that that is also the case when you clone it, because I might push other updates to this repo in the future. There should also be a finished tutorial here when you view this video. At the moment, since it's not finished, there is no such branch here yet, but there will be if you want just the finished version. And so we'll copy the HTTP string here for cloning, and we'll go back into our terminal. And here we'll write git clone -b for branch. And we want to make sure, even though this is now the default branch, it might not be in the future. So this was called tutorial boilerplate. And then after that, we'll have a space and we'll copy in the repo. I already have a folder. So I'll put it into YouTube live net worth demo. There we go. And now we're gonna go into that folder, YouTube live with demo, and then we're also gonna open that folder here in Visual Studio. And here is our project. So quick overview: we have app.js, which is kind of the main point in our file, and this contains a few things. It contains an input for selecting the address, and then it contains a button for requerying the balances. Then it has this chain selector, which selects which chain we want to fetch assets from, and then an asset table. And all of this displays the ERC20 tokens, and all of these are available here. So chain selector is this one, and asset table is this one here. And this one fetches our assets and displays them in the table. I'll show you what this looks like already now. We'll open up our terminal again. Where did my old terminal go? And we'll run, well, first we need to run npm install in your folder, make sure you're in the right folder. All right, that took a while, but now it's all installed. And that means we can run npm start. And this will fire up our React start script and launch our app on our local host, our local web server. So we can check out where our starting point is. Oh, I forgot. Before we do this, we need to add, or stop that. We need to add to our env file our Moralis API key. And to get that, you need to go to admin.moralis.io and sign in to your, or sign up for a free account or sign in. And then you want to go to settings and grab one of your API keys here. We'll paste that in here and save. It doesn't matter which one you get of these. You can create multiple ones here. You can use the API key default one or the other. I think there's 2 keys from the start. You can use either of those. I would recommend to use this one, which is not the legacy one. This is legacy here. This one is active. Both of them would work, but this one you can regenerate. So it's a bit better. And just as in the other portfolio example, this app places the API key in the front end, which means that just like your RPC node URL, your key, it can be taken by other people and used by other people if they find it in your front end. So if you want to be mindful of that, you should create a little backend that does these API calls for you and sends them on to the front end. But for this little quick demo app, I'm just going to have everything in the front end to make it easy. Now we got that, we can restart with npm start again. Because every time you change the .env file, you need to restart the entire web server in order for that to take effect. And now the thing has started. Or it is starting. We'll have it here in a second. There we go. So this will fetch assets across now 5 different chains, and it will put them in this list here with the logo, the name, the price, the value, and the 24-hour change. You can edit the address here and fetch the assets all over again. And now if you deselect the chain here, it will refetch the balances. This is not done in the most efficient way because every time you deselect now, it refetches the balances from the API, which is not necessary because you already have them stored. So you could just change them in the front end, but for the simplicity of the code, now I refetch them every time and then redisplay them. And so what we're going to add now is just above this chain selector, I'm going to have the net worth, the total net worth of the portfolio, which will be super easy to add because it's just one API call. And then what I'll also add is I'll add all of the net worth below the chains. We can see how much value this wallet has on each of the different chains. And this is similar to how many of the portfolio explorers out there do it. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to show you how easy it is with the new net worth endpoint that we have over at Moralis. And we can check that out actually already now. We can go to docs.moralis.io. All right, when I record this video, the net worth endpoint is not actually in the docs yet. It is that new. I do have the Swagger file for it, but it will be in the docs when you see this video. So this is the endpoint: wallet/address/net worth. Let me remove that. And it takes an array of chains. So you can query all the chains you want in one call. You can choose to exclude spam, or you can exclude verified contracts. Both of these are going to be true in our case. That makes it a bit more accurate so that spam tokens do not dilute the value, because sometimes spam tokens manage to get to either have liquidity or to manipulate that in some way to have a price. And in this case, we're just going to exclude all of that and just focus on the verified contracts. So that's the endpoint: /wallet/address/net worth. The full call, you will be able to see examples here in the docs, but the full call, where is it? Looks something like this. You have the API, base API, wallet, /the address/net worth, and you specify the chains, and then all the other query parameters, and you get back this response with total net worth in dollars, and then you get an array with the different chains. And here you can see the chain, the native balance formatted, native balance USD, token balance USD, and net worth USD. This is what we're going to use for all the different chains together with this total net worth USD. All of this will be available in the documentation under the wallet API. So let's go ahead and implement this. I'll see also now there's a file networth.js that shouldn't be here because that's what we're going to build. So I will remove that to make sure that it won't be in the repo that you clone. Now that that's done, we can create that file. We're going to create a new component called networth.js. And that's basically going to display the big net worth at the top. It will be responsible for that. And then we will also need a net worth info inside of our chain selector. So that if we take a look at the app, so that this component also has the net worth data, because it all comes from the same endpoint. So we're gonna have to share that data between two components. So maybe we'll start by fetching the data, which we'll do inside of our app.js, so that we then can share that state with our child components. And to do that, we need a new state up here to hold the net worth. And this, to start, will just be an empty object for the state. And then we will create a function here that's fetch net worth, which will fetch that from the API. And that will be an async function taking the address parameter. And in here, we're going to have a try catch where we will query. Let's see, can we copy some request? We have a request in asset table. Maybe we can copy. I don't know, we don't have. That's a more complex query. Do we have another query we can copy? No, then we'll just have to write it. So we'll use fetch here to fetch from the Moralis API. And the URL we can get from docs, you'll be able to get directly from the net worth endpoint. I will use, let's see, get tokens. I'll use this base URL here, wallet / like so. So I just grab the base URL. And then in here, after /wallets, we're gonna have the address, which we pass into the function /net-worth. And after that comes all of the chains that we want to fetch for. And in this case, we're going to fetch for all the chains that this app supports, right, that we've chosen to support. And in this case, I've chosen to support ETH, Polygon, Binance Chain, Optimism, and Base. So we need to add all of those here with the chains. So chains is equal to ETH, and then you do another one, another parameter, chains equal to Polygon, chains equal to BSC, chains equal to Optimism, chains equal Base. And then finally, we're going to do another one, which is exclude spam equals true. And lastly, we're going to do exclude. By the way, you will be able to grab all of this from docs, by the way, but I'm going to do exclude unverified contracts equals true. Let's hope I didn't do any typo there. And that's it. And then we're going to have an options object after that. And in here, we're going to specify the method, which is get, the headers, which should be the same. Well, anyway, we'll write it. But we should be able to copy it from the other request we had from the previous video. Type application/JSON. And then we have the x-api-key. And that is now process.env. Well, that we can copy from our env. Take that. There we go. And from that, we can extract the data. await response.json. And then we can call the set net worth to change the state or update the state with that data. And that data will be what I showed here. So this will be the data, this will be the object for all the chains that we queried and the total net worth. So now we fetch that data. Now we can start by passing that into our chain component, which we already have. Or maybe no, let's not start with that. We'll pass it into our new net worth one, so then we'll get the big net worth number first. So let's build out our net worth component, which is basically just going to show a big text where it says our total net worth. So we start here, import React from React, create a function net worth, and here, yeah, we're probably gonna need to take some props here, which is net worth, camel case, we'll do so. And then here we're just gonna return a div with an h1. Oop. And in here we can do some brackets, and then in here we'll get net worth dot total something. What was it? Total net worth USD. Oops. Like that. And that's it. And then we'll just at the end export this, export default net worth. Okay. And now we're just going to need to pass this in as a property into the net worth component, which we will add underneath the button net worth, and we'll pass in, what did we call it? We called it net worth equal to net worth. Did we call it that? We called it net worth, yes. So that's a state. Boom. That should work to display that. Let's try. Did we do everything? I don't think we have a use effects call in the app because nothing is calling this, as you can see, fetch net worth. So we're gonna have a use effect call here. And in here we're gonna do fetch net worth with our address, and so that adds a dependency on on address. That should do it. So now we'll call the function, and that we input that state into net worth. Yeah, this should be better. And now when we load, we do get an actual real error here, a 404 error. And when we're calling the net worth endpoint, and I did realize why, and it is because we the query parameters, we start with this, what's it called, ampersand something, I don't know. The query parameters need to start with question mark, and then it's the symbol for all of the following ones. So that's probably what's causing that. I haven't tested it though. We'll save that. By the way, I also had an issue while I was testing this with like the auto compile feature of the web server, and that seemed to be only limited to when I ran it previously in the Linux subsystem, which exists in Windows. And now I ran it in just the command prompt, and then that solved the issue. Let's see now. There we go. Now we get the net worth. So the net worth of this wallet is $62,000. It's not very pretty in terms of its display. We don't even have a dollar sign. So we're going to address that. And for that, we're going to use something that I'm also using inside of, I believe, asset table. I'm using this. This is a JavaScript built-in feature, international.number format, which automatically helps you format numbers. So I'm going to copy this, and you can also copy it from asset table because it is used in there already. Copy that into the net worth function, and boom. And we're going to wrap, we're going to call this function, yes, we're going to call US$.format. and then the input is the actual net worth. And that will format it with commas, it will format it with a dollar sign and so on. And that you can use this for many other currencies for like localizing how you display it. So now, yeah, you can always, oops, let's see, there we go. So there seems to be a state here when before it actually responds, it says not a number. We could fix that probably if you want to. There we go. So now we have the net worth there. Now we're also going to have the net worth for all of these different chains. So how much net worth do you have on Ethereum, how much on Polygon, how much on BNB, and so on. And for that, we already have that in the response of the net worth object. But this time we're going to display it inside of the chain selector. So we're also going to have to, in the chain selector.js, we're going to need to bring in another property here, which is net worth, into this chain selector component. And then we can, when we iterate over the chains here, which is what displays these components, we iterate over our blockchain options, and for each chain we put out this button, which you see here. So all we need to add is something below the chain name, which tells us what the chain net worth is. So chain value maybe. And inside here, we will put, let's see now. So we need to go into the net worth dot chains, I think it was. If we check the Swagger, you can check the docs. Yeah, dot chains. And we need to filter or find, I guess. So this is a method that exists on array types. So we're going to find, and here I believe we need to do like this. So we'll do, we'll call it C, and we'll do C dot. So C would be the actual chain here. So C, there will be this object. C would be this object. So C dot chain should be equal to this chain that we're iterating through. So when we're creating, let's say we come into this map call with here for the first time, we're looking at ETH, so chain is ETH, and then we're rendering all of this ETH stuff. We come here and we look inside the chains array inside of net worth, and we find the object inside of that array where c.chain, which is this one, is equal to ETH in that case. And next time it will be polygons. We will find the element that we're looking for, the net worth element. And once we've found that, that means we've found the right, because if you query this with multiple, let's query it with ETH and Polygon. Once we've found the right object, then we need to also display the net worth USD. So then we'll do .net, I can copy it from here, net worth underscore USD. Let's see. So this chain, we might need to, so we need to write chain.id. So these are the blockchain options, and these would be what we call the chain down here. This would be that object. So we need to compare the ID. And this is not, ID might be a bad name. It's not the chain ID. This is like a short name, I guess, for it, but it's the same that we use in the API. You could also use chain IDs, by the way. You don't have to use those names. So we could switch all of this to chain IDs, and it would perhaps be a little bit cleaner, but we'll use this for now. Let's see if that works. We should also format that maybe into, that did not work. Can read properties of undefined, reading chains on row 35. It's probably row 36. Maybe we need to, because this will probably not be defined before we get the, so I had to add the question mark there, because this will not be defined until we've gotten the response from the API. Save that, see if that solves it. No. Oh, did we even pass it in from app? No, we did not. So the chain selector we need to add also net worth. Of course it's not defined. We haven't even passed it in yet. There we go. Now let's see. That looks better. Boom. You see it already. Now we're just going to format it as US dollar. Inside of chain selector, we're going to do US dollar. Oh, we don't even have that here. We need to copy that inside here as well. So from network, we'll copy the same number format. Paste that in here. Do US dollar dot format. Format all of that. Beautiful. We could make it a little bit prettier so it's not like not a number, but apart from that, this is looking beautiful. You can query for whatever address you want, and this will bring you the net worth across all of the chains that you query. Moralis currently supports, I believe it's 12 or 13 chains, something like that, and we're adding more all the time. This is just a selection of some of them. If you go to Moralis.io, you can see that we support a whole host of different chains, and you can query for all of those to get the net worth for each individual one and all of them together thanks to our new net worth endpoint. And that is really powerful if you're building, once again, a wallet or a portfolio app. You can use that, or you can use it inside if you're building like crypto analytics or any other really Web3 app where you need a total value of the portfolio. And soon enough, we're also going to include NFT values in this. Currently, it's native tokens and ERC20 tokens for all of these different chains, but soon it will be NFTs as well. As I said in the previous video as well, very soon from when I'm recording this, we're also solving this logo issue so that not only like the biggest tokens on ETH has logos, but soon all of these tokens will have logos. For even small coins on small chains, it will have the logo. So it will look a lot better then, but I didn't want to wait with recording this for a few more weeks while we figure that out. And that's really it for this video, showing you the new net worth endpoint. And if you want to get started, you have all of the links that you need down in the description, but probably you've already followed along to this tutorial. So there you go. But if you enjoyed it, make sure to like the video, leave a comment down below. And thanks so much for watching. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.